I don't know, when I was looking at some of the people, I've been in a lot of Zoom meetings that are like prep calls for future events and things. And I'm kind of surprised by how many women are showing up with no makeup, their hair up in a bun, and just not even worried about it. And I kind of give them credit for that. I had one on my show though. She showed up right out of the shower, no makeup, hair dripping.
Oh,
She might as well had a towel on. She had just gotten out. You know what I mean?
but this
And
was reported to be a radio show.
well, so
You're
she knew it was a radio show, so she wasn't worried about anybody seeing her but me. But I got to give her credit that she was like not caring. But I mean, there's a point where it's like, should you care at all?
well, I do believe that when you are dressed, then your projection is that much classier, stronger, classier, more powerful, because you feel better about yourself being so much more presentable.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, I mean, I feel much more confident if I have makeup on than if I don't. I don't know, I don't even like to wear my glasses, just because,
But then you can't see anything.
and they're always crooked. Like when I put them on, they're like,
Oh,
but I think though the women I've seen, younger girls especially, I think girls are 35 to me, young women have been less concerned and just more themselves. They'll show up with the glasses and the no makeup and the hair, because it's like they're taking full advantage of working at home. And I don't know how I feel. I wish I would be more confident to do that maybe, but I don't know. You would have to wear I mean, these are the same people who would have done more to go to work, dressed up in the actual office. But I
yeah.
can remember when you're talking about rating, they used to rate, like I used to work with a bunch of professors, and these women would wear like, and no offense to Birkenstocks, but I wouldn't wear a Birkenstock. It's just not my taste, right? But they would wear like Birkenstock with their feet hanging out, and just not concerned with what they look like so much. You know what I mean? And I would hear comments made about that how can they show up like that, and then they wouldn't get promoted. I had a boss who got rid of all the Birkenstock wearing women because he thought it was not professional, and I'm thinking that's not fair. But
it's not fair, but it's the way of the world. People judge us every time you go and dump garbage in the garbage bin. Somebody's watching, somebody's zooming you, and somebody's assessing you, and somebody is making a thought pattern based on what they see about you as to how they're going to promote you or give you raises, or how upwardly mobile they will allow you to be in that environment. So I mean, there's always somebody watching. But beyond all that, let's say nobody was watching. When you get dressed, at least even somewhat, you feel better, and therefore you project better. I mean, it's a fact of reality.
Yeah.
So if you're just coming out of the shower, don't complain later on.
Can I make that into just a little short clip of you doing that?
What did I do?
It was cute.
That cute.
But it's true. That's exactly how it is. I can be much more, excuse me, relaxed if I do my radio than if I'm going to do a video, because if the camera's not on, when you start getting all this stuff on your head and all, you got it. There's just so much you can get ready for that. But it is an interesting look at how things have progressed to where you're always kind of on, whether you leave your house, everybody's got a cell phone.
Well,
And if you're more famous you get, if you're going to be a good speaker or big somebody, you just never know who's going to run into you. I could walk to my grade school, my high school, and I almost never run into anybody I know when I go out in this town. I got my other summer place that's an hour and a half from here where I know nobody. And every single day I've gone out there, I've run into somebody who knows me. So you just don't know. I'm like, wow, why here? You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, when I was writing those little mini mags on the racks of the supermarket, they were impulse buys.
Mhm.
And people would look and I was doing the relationship titles,
Mhm.
and people would look and say, oh, wow, I know Dr. Gilda from television. And they'd pick them up and they would disappear within a day or so.
Right.
Um, but while I was doing that, you had no idea. And part of the negotiation that I did with the company is that, well, if you don't want to pay me all that much, be sure to put my photo on the front because that'll move the titles more because people recognize me from TV. And I was down in Puerto Rico, I was recognized. I was up in Canada, I was recognized.
Yeah.
People, I was teaching a class one day, and one of the professors barged in. He said, "You are everywhere. I just came back from Vermont, and there was your face
Uh-huh.
all over the place on the racks in the supermarkets." So you have to understand that when you get out there, people are watching. Not at first, perhaps. It probably
Yeah.
took me 7 or 8 months for people to recognize me. And I was on every single television network, every single show, sometimes 3 shows a day, different people's shows.
Right.
And I thought I would be recognized like after a day or 2 days. Nobody could care less.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden it all hit at once.
Yeah.
And I was driving in the car with my mom, and somebody started beeping her horn. She was sitting next to somebody else, and they were in a convertible, and she was a young woman. And she started beeping, 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 Dr. Gilda, Dr. Gilda. And she turned, I mean, it's so accident prone. She turned the car in a complete circle, 180 degrees, and she ran to where my car was. And my mother was so shocked. She said, "What is this?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "Oh, your fans." And she couldn't believe this. Or walking in the street with my hairdresser in the street of New York, he said, "Did you see that just now? Somebody just snapped your picture." I didn't see it. I didn't know it. I wasn't aware. But you have to be aware that when you are out there, people will recognize you. And then how you comport yourself may make the tabloids if you're not good.